This episode of the Beauty Industry Podcast was brought to you by Cosmetica. Hello and welcome to the Beauty Industry Podcast, your online support community for the professional beauty industry. I am your host, founding director of Beauty Industry, Tamara Reid. Here we are closing the competitive gap and speaking your language. This is a platform created and dedicated to the professional beauty industry, valuing community over competition. We serve to help connect you with inspiration from industry experts, expand your knowledge through educational pieces, and bring you the latest in product and technology innovation. This is Beauty Industry. Today, my guest is Amy Doja from Cosmetica. Amy started her career in a very corporate setting, working for a film distributing company before later moving on to a transport company as a business and operations manager. Right before COVID hit and just before turning 30, she did what most of us do, started freaking out about wrinkles. Talking to friends, they suggested treatments such as anti-wrinkle, filler, and laser, and Amy had no clue about what they were talking about. So after a coffee with a girlfriend, Amy went online to try and find out more about the treatments her friends were suggesting, which turned out to be a lot more complicated than it sounded. Clicking from website to website, Amy wondered if there was a platform she could use to seamlessly compare beauty businesses' offerings, reviews, opening hours, and she couldn't find anything. It was then that Amy decided to create her own comparable platform, and with that left her job to learn all about the beauty industry, and the rest, as they say, is history. Amy's soon-to-launch platform Cosmetica gives clients the ability to collate a beauty business's best attribute at the click of a button, giving clients fast and effective insights into why they should visit your business. Talking to us about her newest venture, here's Amy and I for Beauty Industry. Amy, welcome to the Beauty Industry Podcast.
Thank you for having me, Tamara. It's a pleasure being here.
Likewise to have you. Amy, we are going to reminisce all the way back to where you first started your career. And I'm wondering how you actually found your way into the professional beauty and aesthetic industry.
Yeah, so before starting Cosmetica, I had no idea about the beauty industry besides, the general little knowledges that I had. And then pretty much through Cosmetica, I started learning more about the beauty industry, started attending to daily workshops and the learning groups and all of that type of stuff, and learned from, some of the best in the industry more about it, and still learning every single day. So yeah, I definitely have to say learnt through Cosmetica.
Yeah, amazing. There's so much to learn. I think once you kind of jump into our industry, you're like, oh my goodness, it's not just beauty, then there's advanced skin, and then there's inject, and then there's advanced modalities. Like it just keeps on going. It's like an onion.
So much. Yeah, a lot take in. But it's amazing. Like from my first initial kind of thoughts of the beauty industry, it's completely changed. Like I see how much a lot of the clinicians take effort in their work, which is, I never kind of thought beforehand that they did. But it's a really nice industry filled with lots of lovely people and learning every single day, which is a bonus.
Yeah, amazing. And so you've come from a corporate background at the beginning of your career. How does that compare as to what you're doing at the moment?
It's different. It's definitely very different. Look, I enjoyed the corporate world in a sense of learning and understanding how the corporate world works. And I think it made me grow up quite a bit. I was quite young when I joined the corporate world as well. So it definitely made me mature a lot quicker, which was great. But eventually I learned it wasn't something that I wanted to continue in. I love dealing with real life people, everyday people. And for me, the corporate world was not something that I wanted to continue for the rest of my, career.
Yeah, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I think a lot of our industry, I was actually having this chat on an episode not too long ago. Our industry sometimes goes, oh, I want to jump out of the beauty world and go a little bit more corporate or, kind of find our pathway. And then we're like, no, we just love this industry. We love the people. And I think even, you came along to our beauty brunch in Brisbane and just that vibe of the people in our industry, they're so caring, so loving, so giving. I'm kind of biased, but I feel like you don't really get that in a lot of other industries.
And they have a real human touch to them, which is, I think, really important. And I feel like the industry, and I think it's because they do spend a lot of time with humans, day in, day out in a room. A lot of the people within the industry have got that human touch about them and that human connection, which is really important. And it's nice. It's nice to work with people who've got that connection with people, and you can kind of connect with them as well. So yeah, it's really nice.
Absolutely. So then tell me, Compare Cosmetica is your business, which we obviously heard about in the introduction, but I want to explore that with you more today. How did the idea come to you? Were you sitting there going, I need a beauty service. How can I find it? I mean, where does the light bulb evolve? And then how do you get from light bulb, an idea in your brain, to, okay, now we actually have a business?
Yeah. So I started with a coffee with a girlfriend, literally sitting down, having coffee. We weren't talking about kids for once, which was amazing. It was just us two, no kids, coffee. And she was telling me about Botox, and she had just gotten Botox done and she was thinking of getting fillers. And I'm like, what is all this stuff? I had heard of it, but I didn't hear that much information as I did from her. So I went online myself and I tried to find out more information about it and try to find a clinic. But it was just so hard to find a clinic that met my needs, which was pretty much on a Sunday only. And to be able, just whatever I kind of needed, the times that I needed, it was so hard. I was page after page. I was about 2 weeks into it. And I just said to my husband one night, can you imagine if there's one website out there? Because at this point I was getting frustrated. Imagine if there was one website out there where you can just put in what you want and then it just compares for you. And he's like, that's an amazing idea. He's like, is there nothing out there with that? I said, no, there's not in that industry, From there, my husband inspired me to look into it, and then I spoke with girlfriends who work within the industry, and they thought it was a brilliant idea. And then the second step was legal. Made sure that legally it was okay to, do something or even research into it and not waste my time. And from there, then spoke to clinic owners and got their feedback on what they thought, and the rest is history pretty much. So yeah.
Very cool. I have been there so many times. I mean, I do a mystery shop, or my team does a mystery shop every month all around Australia. And we too have like 5 or 10 different tabs open at the one time, trying to find a facial or compare, okay, this facial you get a peel, but this facial you don't get a peel, but maybe you get microdermabrasion, for example. And then this costs this much, but then this costs this much. But then you can upgrade over here and then you can add on over here. And it's going to take this far to get to this location. And I never even thought of the idea, of having them all in one space, which is so very cool. Did you have any, like tech savviness before that, or were you just like, here's the idea, I'm going to launch into it?
Nothing, no experience within IT whatsoever, besides, having an office job and knowing the basics of having an office job. No, I didn't. And that's where I knew a lot of the stuff a lot of my idea, yes, it has been my idea, but there's been a team behind it who have worked very, very hard to make an idea into something actually happening. So, yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, to say the least. What I really love that you mentioned there, and I think I'm going to highlight this because a lot of business owners in our industry perhaps skip this step when they're starting a business, right? And you mentioned that you researched among two different people, friends and family, and then industry. And I think that is such a pivotal point when you're in startup, because a lot of people have the idea and then we get so excited and we just launch straight into it, throw a shit ton of money at it, and then it doesn't stick. We've lost all of this money. The
Yeah.
brand doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
So the fact that you've gone, hey, friends, is this a pain point for you? They go, yes. Hey, family, is this a pain point for you? They say yes. Hey, industry, is this a pain point for your clients? Is this actually valid? They say yes. It just makes so much sense to me.
Absolutely. And also, like, I think within the beauty industry, my first initial reaction is I have to be careful how I do it.
Mm.
And to be able to hear the clinics say to me, well, for example, we don't accept home beauticians or home clinics, which is, it's been had a bit of positive feedback about it as well as negative feedback. But it's something that we have listened to the industry about, and we've said, okay, we're going to honour your concerns. And I think that was one of the first things that came up before I even, looked into Compare Cosmetica or started it. So yeah, I think that listening to the industry is more important than the general public, because if you don't have that industry behind you, you're not going to really have anything, are you? So yeah, it was definitely one of, before I even, started anything, I went door knocking and made great friends out of it, and met great people out of it. Went to a few different local clinics and said, what do you think if I do this? And they thought, you're crazy, but okay, go for it.
Well, I was going to say there are a lot of people who aren't from our industry who try to come into the beauty industry, and their ideas are good, but on a practical level, it doesn't work. So, the fact that you're actually listening to what the industry is saying, to me already shows, how self-aware and intelligent you are, because this is the industry that you're going to join. So so
Absolutely. And
important.
I tried to treat the clinics as if it was my own business as well,
Mm.
and I think that's really important in business. You have to be able to put yourself in their shoes and try and understand, okay, if it was me and let's say I'm the clinic, how would I like it if that happened or if this happened? And I think that's really, really important in business, to be able to put yourself in their shoes and take that feedback, negative or positive, take the feedback and do something with it, which is really, really important.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me then, obviously our audience is business owners in the beauty industry, and the benefits of Compare Cosmetica are very obvious for the client. It's so easy to jump on and compare all of the different businesses and their services and, their USPs and things like that. But what are the benefits for a business owner to actually jump on and be a part of that program?
Yep. So firstly, we've got a lot of clinics on board already who have joined. We've currently got a 3-month free offer. And some of the benefit, like we're going to be doing really heavy marketing once it launches, which hopefully will be soon. So the main thing I think at the moment that's going to benefit a clinic would be having that visibility on our platform. So essentially, Compare Cosmetica will become a platform, and having their name on that platform is advertising. It's getting your name out there. Even if you're only getting 1 or 2 clients for the first month, you've got that visibility. And there's studies out there that have proven, like, people who go on comparison websites, they may not book straight away, but they use that information. At least 80% of them use that information to then later on book with that deal they saw on the comparison website. So it's about having that visibility and having their name on a platform, which I think, is great. Also, we've got a dashboard which has taken a lot of work. But there's and this comes back to my morals, there's a dashboard where we are full transparent with the clinics. They get a view of how many times have their treatments been searched, how many times have their treatments shown up in my compare basket, and then how many times has that been redirected to them. So they get that full transparency. If they think, this isn't working for me, they can look through their dashboard. And I think being transparent is really important as well. So they've got, there's a lot of benefits that I can pretty much sit here and go through it all day with you. But I think the main thing is about having that visibility and having a marketing tool out there, which essentially will be Compare Cosmetica. We are pretty much a marketing tool.
Yeah. And if you're like, I know many business owners in our industry aren't so fabulous at marketing, then that certainly takes out one huge step of, a hat that you have to wear, because you're also in the treatment room, you're also running your business, you're also closing the books at the end of the month. So, I mean, if you can take that marketing hat off and give it to somebody like yourself, get increased visibility, and know, which I think is very important, know that your investment on that advertising platform is actually returning to you through that dashboard. Huge game changer.
Yeah, and that, like transparency is very, very important with Compare Cosmetica. And, if they're finding that we've got way too many bookings, we can't, we don't want to say no to our clients. We've also got an option where they can put their account on hold. So instead of having to re-sign on and redo all of the sign up stuff all over again, they can just put it on hold. They can set a time of when they want to have the account back up and going again. So there's a lot of benefits.
Community, many of you by now are probably listening along to this conversation, wondering how you can be a part of Compare Cosmetica, and I'm here to let you know exactly that. As Australia's first beauty comparison website, Compare Cosmetica attracts thousands of clients looking for trusted providers. If you're a professional retail clinic, their online platform can boost your business with quality traffic, leads, and bookings. When you join Compare Cosmetica, you give clients quick, easy access to the information they need to choose your clinic without them having to spend hours on end searching for you. When people are empowered with upfront knowledge about your services, pricing, and location, they're more likely to say yes and make the booking. If you want to see what all of the fuss is about today, you can with their 3-month free offer to clinics who sign up prior to launch. And if you don't love their service, you can easily opt out at any time without any lock-in periods, which just goes to show how much they believe in their service. To gain 3 months free on this incredible new platform, visit www.comparecosmetica.com.au or click through the show notes and fill in your details, and the team will be in contact with you shortly. It could not be more simple to advertise your business direct to your clients. Thank you so much to Compare Cosmetica for making this episode of the Beauty Industry Podcast possible. You mentioned before, obviously, not having an IT background was one of the sticky points for you. Have there been any other obstacles that you've come across in starting up this business and setting up the platform?
How much time do you have, Smart?
That much.
There's been a lot, and it comes back to listening to the industry. So for the last few months, we've been working with clinics on the back end, and there's been a lot of work done. And we've taken their feedback, done changes, even the little things that I probably dismissed at the time or didn't even notice at the time, like having prices appear before somebody even creates an account. And the clinic, when they went to have a look at it in the back end, they said, well, no, I don't want my stuff to be up here until they're comparing and until they've joined and the rest of it. So which we listened and we changed and we alter, and there's been a lot of obstacles, and even potential investors, and that took a lot of time as well, and there's been a lot, but you know what, I wouldn't have it any other way, because you learn through them, you grow through them, every day is a new adventure.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like in business, sometimes you get to like a problem or, a roadblock in the way and you overcome it. And then you go, okay, I've got all of these tools and I'm going to put all these tools in my pocket. And then when I'm faced with that roadblock, I'll know how to fix it again. But the reality is in business is that you really never have that same problem again. It's like another problem which you never even imagined, right?
Exactly. And they just keep it might even be the same problem, but the outcome's got to be different.
Mm,
I think in business, everything just keeps changing, and you just go with it. You take
yeah.
one step at a time, and tick off one box at a time, and you just keep going at it.
Yeah, for sure. So then tell me, you mentioned, you were qualifying or not qualifying some of the home businesses. How do you source who is actually included on the platform then?
Yep. So at the moment, a lot of our customers who have joined have been B2B marketing. So we've been in contact with them. Either, we've wanted them on board. We've called them, marketing through social media, direct marketing. And there's been a few that have also seen some of our ads on Instagram and have joined. But so once a clinic signs up, they can't just go and start a profile. We have to verify their account. We have to make sure that they are a retail clinic, whether that be franchisee or boutique, as long as they're a retail clinic, then they are accepted to be part of Compare Cosmetica. And then from there, we have many different categories that we compare their treatments on.
Yes. And so talk to me about these categories. What are we actually comparing, or what's a client comparing?
Yep. Okay. So if you are, I'm just going to use this in simple terms. If you are looking to get a face treatment done, like a face mask or a facial done, you go in as a general public, you put in what you're wanting, and then the comparisons are, so they can alter their location. And then when we do the final comparison, so the comparisons are the price, which we need to have on there, reviews. I think reviews is so important. A lot of people who are looking to get work done on their face of some sort, reviews is essential. So reviews will definitely be part of it. And then locations. So depending on what they're looking for, they can set a radius of where they're looking for. Going back to myself, when I was looking for someone, I wanted someone 10 minutes around the corner from me. I didn't want to drive half an hour. I didn't want to spend my entire day driving around to get to a clinic. So location is quite important. The clinic type, so we do at the moment, we're doing boutique and franchisee clinics, and you have customers out there who prefer boutique clinics only, and I completely understand that. And then you have others who only want franchisee. Maybe they want to do their shopping, and most of the franchisee clinics are within shopping centres and stuff like that, so that might suit them better. So at the moment, we've got price, reviews, location, clinic type, opening hours, which is also quite important for people to be able to compare, and the consultation terms as well. I went to a clinic one point for a consultation. I assumed the consultation was for free, and it wasn't. So consultation term, I think it's quite important for clinics to be quite open as well with customers about their consultations. Are they free? Are they only free for the first 15 minutes? Are they only free for 30 minutes? Are they free
Good one.
I think there's quite a bit involved in skin clinics, and we've just tried to get all the information as much as we can from them and just put it in the one page and make it as simple as possible for the public. Sorry, I'll continue with the different comparisons. So we've got the cancellation policy as well, which is, I think, also important, especially as a mum. I'd like to know that I can, maybe there's a cancellation policy, but I can reschedule without a fee. That for me is quite important. I might wake up in the morning and my daughter might be sick, something out of my control. So, people wanting different type of services. And this is, again, what we've tried to simplify for the public and make it as easy as possible for them to have all of that information. And also, lastly, there's a why choose us. So clinics are able to put in why to choose them. And I think that's about it at the moment. There's a few treatments that will have a bit more and a bit less. So again, depending on the treatment, it varies, but I think that's the most basic one that we've got at the moment.
Yeah. Do you know what? As you were saying all of that, I was thinking about my days where I was on the desk talking a client through cancellation policy. Here's the deposit. Here's where we open. Here's how to park, all of that kind of stuff. And that's like a good 10, 15, sometimes 20 if you've got a chatty Cathy client on the phone, right? 20-minute phone call. And you're trying to explain all these little different metrics. And then you secure the appointment. You tell her about all of these cancellation policies. And then she goes, oh, hang on. What do you mean I've got to pay a $50 deposit? Da, 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 da. And then you're like, oh my goodness, I was just on the phone for this enormous amount of time. And now she doesn't want to pay the deposit. And now the appointment's finished, right?
Yeah. And, clinicians are human as well. They're going to make errors. They're going to forget at one point to put in that there's a cancellation policy. So that's where we come in and we simplify things as much as we can, and we put it in the one page for the public to be able to view and see. Compare Cosmetica was created for simplifying, to simplify the information as much as possible, which is what I was looking for at the time.
Yes. And I think we who are in the industry, it's so second nature for us to know about a cancellation policy or a deposit charge or even a consult fee, right? But if you're not from the industry, that's not second nature. And perhaps you don't know it, as you mentioned. So to have that in a platform and to cross those little bits and pieces off a client's to-do list, or perhaps inform them before when they didn't know, it actually seems quite advantageous for me that a clinic would be on this platform. I know we are going to get a couple DMs after this asking when you launch. And so I want to know, when do you officially launch? Maybe you don't have a date. Do you have a set time? I know with IT, sometimes these things can get blown out of the water.
Yeah. So our team at the moment are in Melbourne, and there's been quite a few different lockdowns in Melbourne, and working from home and going back into office and etc. In relation to launch, not sure yet. It will depend. We're also waiting on clinics to get back on us on their feedback as well. So once we've got everything, once I am 100% happy with it, then I'm ready to launch. I would say in the next 2 months.
Amazing. That's so exciting. And I have one more question from you, or for you rather, because I'm sure you've learned so much along this pathway. I mean, coming into a brand new industry, opening up a brand new business, what's been the biggest lesson that you've learned along this pathway so far?
Patience.
My baby's teaching me that one at the moment.
Oh yeah. You think being a parent, you get more patient, but no, definitely starting this has taught me to be patient and not rush. Especially if I want to hear the industry, I want to listen to clinics, and I have to be patient. If it was up to me, I would have had it out there months ago, but clinics wouldn't have been happy with it. So it's, yeah, being patient with them, being working along with them, hearing their feedback, understanding their needs as well. You know, there's a lot of concerns and a lot of what about this and what about that, and that's what we're here for. And you know, I'm happy to answer all those questions and make changes where need to, and listening to them and having a lot of patience.
Good on you. It's certainly needed in a service-based industry. So well
Absolutely.
done. Well, thank you so much for coming and having a chat with me today, Amy. It has been so divine speaking to you. And it's really exciting. You know, our industry is forever evolving and forever growing, and you're creating a business that isn't there at the moment, you know, and it makes me really excited about where we're going, you know, 5-10 years from now. So congratulations, and can't wait to see you launch.
Thank you. We're very excited as well. Thank you for having me.
I have to be honest with you. When I first heard about Compare Cosmetica, I wasn't entirely sure about the concept of comparing business to business. However, once I found my own frustrations of having many computer tabs open to compare which businesses will open when I was available, the difference in treatment packages provided, and also the key takeaways each service offered, I completely understood the need for such a platform from a client's perspective. And the best thing is that there's much more about comparing the service than just the price, which goes to show how much you really need to be wowing your clients first time, every time. Something interesting that I learned offline when producing this episode is that research has shown that 85% of clients at some point have used a comparison website. And out of that same study, 100% of the clients had used the results from the comparison websites for a booking. So there you go. We cannot wait till Compare Cosmetica launches, which is going to save us that much time when trying to find where we should book our monthly mystery shops by seeing all of the businesses we want to visit in the one space on the one platform. To stay up to date with the Compare Cosmetica launch, follow along with them over on the gram at compare_cosmetica and us, of course, at Beauté Industry. Until next time, stay connected.